Hi everyone. I wanted to make a video about some of the realities that we face behind the scenes at this company and some of the really terrible things that have crossed our paths this week in terms of emails and messages. We faced a lot of anti-trans, fat-phobic backlash this week, and some of you might have seen a video that I posted yesterday about a particular email that came in that was just full of all sorts of hate and talking about how trans bodies should look and how models should look and being really incredibly fat-phobic and transphobic. And I had originally posted a video showing that email, but afterwards it was brought to my attention that we shouldn't be spreading that sort of hate and shouldn't have it out there for other people to see, including those models. So I've reached out to everyone personally and had some conversations. And so I do think it's a really important thing to be talking about. I know that we post about our models being amazing and beautiful all the time, but I do really want to talk about what happens in the areas that you guys might not see. So instead of propagating that hate speech and putting that, giving more fuel to the fire, putting it out there into the world, I really wanted to take this time to focus on why we choose the amazing, beautiful, diverse models that we do. So although we do want to be a diverse brand, what does that actually mean? There's a very fine line between lip service and tokenism and diversity. And let's be real, everyone wants to see a certain percentage of each body size, type of trans identity, ethnicity, disability, the list goes on and on. So while we do want to represent the world and how beautiful and diverse it is in our community, we're not going to check boxes just for the sake of checking boxes either, because, you know, that gets into a very weird territory. And so it is a difficult decision-making process, and you might not always see models on our page that resonate with you specifically or the identities that you hold for yourself. We do try to get a range of people, but we only hire less than 10 models per year, and so that's not always going to be a possibility. So all that being said, when we hire models, we try to work with people who are marginalized, who are not seen in mainstream media. Obviously, as you can tell from our page, we are mostly working with queer and trans people, and we try to find people who have intersectional identities within that. We try to work with models who, for many different reasons, haven't had access to paying modeling work in the past, maybe because of transphobia or racism or other things, fat phobia, that have left them out of mainstream modeling contracts. We try to work with independent modeling agencies. Details is an incredible agency that we started working with this year that really champions marginalized models and is really pushing for greater visibility and getting models work, both in small brands like mine and in the larger fashion industry. And so I'm super stoked to be partnering with them more and more. I also want to say that when we're looking at marginalized identities, sometimes it is hard to find people who want to put themselves out there, because as we're seeing now, that takes a lot of bravery and you get a lot of backlash. And I understand why people who are already oppressed might not want to be in the limelight in that particular way. And we do find this when we go to hire models, and we want to make sure that we're protecting people, that we're making them feel safe and comfortable. And for example, if there is not a trans feminine fat model that wants to model our gaffes, that's for a good reason. And those women don't feel safe being out on the internet in such an exposed way. And I absolutely understand, and we're not going to put someone in that situation. So when people aren't seeing the identities that they want to see, sometimes we have to look at why hasn't society created spaces for people to feel safe and to enter like modeling careers and modeling jobs in that way. We're actually going into a photo shoot this Thursday, which will be reshooting all of our gaffes on trans women because we realize that in the past, our gaffes have only been shown on non-binary models who haven't been on HRT, and we really wanted to change that representation and add a better imagery of the way that our gaffes are worn by the majority of the people who wear them. So, you know, we are a small brand, we have small budgets, but we are trying our best to find people who represent us and our community and who feel safe and comfortable in these environments and want to put themselves out there. And we know how hard and scary that is. We've been facing that all week, me and my staff of mostly queer and all queer and trans people who have been on the other side of these YouTube comments and these emails and doing their best to read this hate mail every day and not take it on. And obviously the people who are visible as models in their everyday lives are facing these things as well. And we want to be really conscious of that and just do the best we can. So we will keep moving forward and trying to push this narrative and field all of the negative comments that come in the best way that we know how. But we are open to suggestions and feedback, and I am open to suggestions and feedback. So please let us know, what do you want to see more of? What is working for you? Which imagery has resonated with you? And yeah, what the future holds for us.